Right, Stoke, we're back. Another episode on the R32 Estate. It's coming along nicely. We've hit some speed bumps, but that's expecting a car, isn't it? You hit speed bumps. We've got loads of new parts. I'll quickly show you through those in a second. We've got some new parts that aren't going to work, which I need to replace. And this is going to be the last week, you're going to like this, that I ever speak about the wiring loom in this car.
Bet you do though.
Because I'm not, be positive. Because after this week, it's all going to be working, it's all going to be running. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, I'll show you the new parts quickly. Right, Stoke, just like you did in college, we've got some M-Techs. They were the B-Techs, but for special needs kids. So we've got...
Are you dissing my disability?
Yeah. So we've got some front brake with pads, rear brakes with pads. I don't know if M-Tech's any good. I think they're drilled, aren't they, or grooved, one of the others.
I did buy a set of these, I will admit, for my Evo, and they seemed all right.
Well, but they're going to be better than what we've got anyway, so we won't complain there. Hopefully they can stop a wagon, because that will need to. We bought some Jazz Blue paint for the calipers, because they need sprucing up. Don't know if you can see them down there.
No.
I've got some stickers. I know these don't have any markings on them anyway, but we thought some R stickers might look nice on it.
OME Plus.
Yeah, but the calipers aren't flat on the front, so I don't know where we're going to stick them just yet. The other thing I've got, because you can't get a black headliner for an estate, you have to dye it. So I've bought some black headlining paint. Look, headliner dye.
Like doing my wig?
I think.
My little spot on the back of my head?
We'll test it on your head first, and then we'll put it on the headlining. It just comes with a spray bottle, so I'm presuming you just do like a few coats of like mist of this, and it does it.
Let's see, we're going to find out.
Guess. I've had a nightmare with coolant flanges. I didn't even know what a coolant flange was until the other week.
Jack always has problems with his flange.
Yeah, so I found like an exploded diagram with all the pipe parts and code numbers, or whatever, the part numbers. Bottom one, fine, like a 45 with like a bleed valve on it, mint. Top one, for some reason, they've sent me one off a mobility scooter. So,
no, you can't say mobility scooter.
I can.
You just dissed my disability saying I had special needs, and now
we love the disabled. Someone disabled might own this car afterwards. It's got the room for a wheelchair and everything. Anyway,
it has actually, yes. Could convert it.
That, like I say, that's fine. It's like a, I don't know, 20 mil, 30 mil flange, fine. This one, it's like 10 mil. I don't know why. The part number was supposed to be right. Turns out it wasn't. So, got to sort that out.
Enough of that, come on, move on.
Yeah, come over here.
What's going on?
Tonight, Matthew, in this corner, we've got some e-back springs and some Bilstein shots.
Sound good to me.
Rear shock was broke on the R32 anyway.
She's sitting low.
So we had to replace that, and the front driver's side shock is bent, so we had to replace that.
Bentage.
Maybe down the line. I mean, the decent Bilstein, decent brand e-back, decent brand. Obviously, they're not brand new. Me and Stokes are going to try and tart them up.
Basically, the money we paid for them was less than we could buy the springs new.
Yeah. So it is a decent deal. There's no leaks. They're all fine. We're going to get them on at some point. We bought some drop links for it before, and the kid actually gave me new drop links as well. So
we've got double everything, haven't we? Speaking of double everything, what's going on down here, Jack?
So I've bought 18 interiors this week, and I've been to every part of the country to get it. I thought I was getting a good deal, but I didn't. Basically, full leather interior out of a Mark 6, full door cards, leather out of a Mark 5, armrest, A, B and C pillars, which are black in the R32s, and obviously they're like beige in here. I thought it was a good price, got all the bits, got them back, realised that both the front seats are bent. Don't know what's happened.
I don't know if you can see that on camera. There's loads of rubbish on it, but...
That's not rubbish, that's going in the car, that is.
Yeah, but it's twisted. Yeah. That back is twisted.
The back's twisted, and it's happened on the driver's side as well. It's not as bad as the passenger, but it's twisted slightly as well. So I don't really know what's happened.
And they were really hard to bolt in.
Yeah, so I've only obviously bolted the driver's side in, but when I had them down flat, ready to go, I had to basically manipulate it. Not a lot, but it was about, let's say, 5 or 10 mil out of position. So Dave basically had to pull it while I bolted it in. I don't know why. It's not the end of the world, because we were going to replace the fronts for some sort of wing back or bucket seat type thing.
That's the plan.
Then there was like a little mark, like probably the size of a pound coin on the rear bench. So I thought I'll get that repaired, because you can get obviously leather repaired. And then a rear bench with the back seats came up in Birmingham. So I went and bought them, which didn't have any rips or anything in them. So I bought them, fitted them, but now I'm basically just going to sell the interior I've bought. Right, I've been busy again, as you've just seen, getting this Loom all together. From the R32 to the Estate, obviously the R32 has lights in the back, the number plate lights are in the bumper. So the Loom's is different and it plugs in differently on the two cars. So what I've had to do is basically splice, find out what every one of these wires do.
Splice and dice?
Splice and dice, find what all those wires do, trace them back to in there and match them up with the R32 Loom, which ended there. So all I've done there literally is cut the plugs off. And what I've done just temporarily, just so we can test it, I've just twisted them, taped them together. I don't want to obviously go soldering.
Sounds like a fix to me.
Yeah.
If I did that.
Yeah, that'd be permanent. Yeah. Well, if this works, maybe it will be. But obviously I don't want to do all the soldering in case something doesn't work and I have to cut it all out again. And that's that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to test the lights, the rear lights, and see if everything works.
Is it?
Right, you ready for this?
Go on then. Brakes work.
Well, that's a bit of a problem because they shouldn't be working.
Yeah.
The car's not even on. There's not even a key in the ignition. So.
Oh, right, okay. Perhaps you just warned you just in case.
I've got the key in my hand, so that's obviously a problem straight away. What do you want first, Stokes? Indicators?
Yes, please. Yeah.
How are we looking?
Flashing, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're reversing.
We're reversing.
Side lights all on.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a fog in the back.
Oh, but you fogged it off.
Yeah, so the fog on the R32 is on this side, I think, of the boot. Well, it's in the boot anyway. Yeah. But the fog light for this is in this side.
I would say it's going to be there because the reverse light's there.
Yeah. So I will show you actually. That's just reminded me. That is my fog light. Yeah. So that has got a link to. In fact, should we do a quick?
Don't earth it out in the body, whatever you do.
Anything?
Yeah, it's come on.
Okay, so there you go. So that's good. I don't know why the brake lights are on.
Yeah. That's switch. Is the switch plugged in?
Well, if let me put my foot on the brake.
No.
Nothing.
Right, we're going to have a little look into this, haven't
Back
we?
in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We found the problem with the brake pedal, haven't we?
Yeah. Off, on, off, on.
We didn't know this, I didn't know this, Stokes didn't know this. The diesel pedal and the petrol pedal is different. In the petrols, that hole there has a switch that sits in it. Obviously works like a normal switch brake pedal, nothing crazy. I'm not sure exactly how it works in the diesel, but there's no switch. So
It's in a different location, isn't it? It's
so
built into like the mass. I don't
something
know.
like that. I don't know. The Mk5 people probably know, but that basically means that the pedal that's in is the one from the estate doesn't work. The problem being is that 2 of the bolts for the pedal bolt through the back of the bulkhead from the engine side, and 2 bolt through the footwell side into the bulkhead.
Yeah.
So that would have been a lot easier with the engine not in the car. But good news is we actually found the fault. So we're going to have a quick mess around now. Hopefully we can get this out, get the new pedal in. That's one thing checked off the list.
Yeah.
Then we didn't check the rear wipers.
No.
So we'll do that afterwards, and then we'll let you know how we get on. Last time you saw us, we were messing about with the nightmare brake pedal. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend doing it once the engine's in and all your dash is back together. It's not worth it. We've got it in anyway, but the problem we've got now is there's like a washer that holds the ball for the brake pedal. I think it helps it spring back into position.
It just stops it going that little bit further, doesn't it?
But I think we've either lost it or broke it on the diesel and on the R32. So what happens now, when you put the brake on, it doesn't spring all the way up. So the brake lights
does spring up,
but not the last little bit.
Which
so I'm not on the brake pedal now, and they're on, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then I have to lift it up another little bit.
Back on again.
Is that off?
Off.
Yeah.
On.
So it's like a little washer or something that basically holds.
It's like a domed washer, isn't it? It's really strange.
But the good news is we've sussed it out anyway. That's working. We also was a pair of plums. I didn't realise that you can't put your rear wiper on when the boot door's open. And because we disconnect the battery so much on this, we've put a rag in there. So basically what you have to do to check the washer, which you've got a rag in, lock it into the closed position. And is it that way or that way?
Yeah, and we're working, Jack, mate.
So we've got washers.
Washers? Wipers, mate.
That's what I meant. So the other thing now, oh no, I haven't turned it off.
Yeah, I'll just open the boot.
Will it turn off?
Yeah, it should do.
There you go. We have checked all the brake lights, indicators, reverse light, fog light, all works, and that's good because I have actually, it's all completely loom taped up. Everything up here, in the roof, it's all in. The only thing we've got to figure out, which I'm not 100% certain on, is this is the hose for the rear washer bottle. That's all good. Stokes has been busy fabricating a piece of floor.
Can I just say something? I've actually recycled something. I've fabricated this little panel bit to go in the back, but I've actually recycled something because it's black. And if you come over here, that's the old R32 door.
That's a suspicious piece missing.
Voila. So it's every little counts, do you know what I mean? Every R32 piece is going into this car. Need to clean it off a bit. Doing myself. But that, yeah, more or less will be riveted into there, sealed all up with a tiger seal. We've made a little piece to go there which we've got to just rivet in, and then obviously this is the top of the battery cover which obviously goes over there.
Right, while Stokes is beavering away on the boot getting that looking good, what I bought, I told you at the start of the episode, is some roof lining dye. The Estates don't come with a black roof liner, so you can't buy one. So we're going to dye it, and just to do a little test, I've sprayed one of the existing sort of A-pillars out of the Estate, and that's what it is compared to, that's factory, that's out the Estate, but this is still wet.
That does.
It does, doesn't it? It's darker, but this will dry lighter, I presume, once it's once it's dried off a bit. So I'm going to do the whole roof lining and then whack it in, see what happens. Like a complete plum, I forgot to press record on the GoPro when I set it up. So 1 second it wasn't done, and now it is. Couple of things, the spray bottle they sent me broke after about 20 sprays. So we scratched around for a different one, which was a lot better for going on. But what was happening with the first bottle, I don't know if you can really see it on here, it was coming out with mist, but then blobs as well. And it seems to have like peppered the thing in blobs.
You can just pick that up, yeah.
So I think in certain areas, it's a bit thicker than it was in other areas. So what I'm gonna do, I've dabbed it all down to try and soak up some of the excess. But we're going to let this dry. I don't know how long it would take to dry to a reasonable amount, but let it dry for a bit.
It's quite damp in here as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd probably be better off in the sun, but it's a nightmare. We're going to let it dry for a couple of hours, see how it looks. Yeah. I've got enough to do like another
coat,
nice, like a light coat. But the colour itself looks good, it's not too far off the factory colour.
From this angle, it looks all right, mate.
So hopefully it dries a little bit lighter so it matches the A and B pillars a bit better, but I think it's going to look all right when it's done. The only other thing as well, we've got to try and pinch them off the R32 hopefully, is the sun visors, grab handles, all that.
They're all in black,
yeah, they're all in black. But at least with this done, I can get the headlining back in, and then if I need to change the modules or whatever, I can just click on them on afterwards. Get to it after. So it's been about, not 24 hours, but nearly. We noticed last night before we left that there was like a lot of splotchy marks all over this. And I think it was from that first spray gun that I was using. I think it was like spitting out blobs and it was drying darker than the rest of it. So I literally have come here this morning, there's about half a bottle left of the dye, and I've just gone over the whole thing again. And I think it's looking 10 times better. I'm not going to say the roof lining was perfect anyway, because as you can tell, there were some marks on it.
Some little grey. I mean, it's an Estate, you put things in it, don't you?
But now it's looking, this is still wet, so obviously we're going to want to see what it looks like when it's dry, but I think it's going to turn out pretty good. They're not in the best condition, but these are all the grey bits that are off the R32.
Black bits, mate.
Yeah, grey, black, whatever. But it's even things like this surround is obviously grey. It's even like these buttons.
Yeah.
They're grey, obviously, on the R32. Grey. Hopefully most of that, I'm going to tidy it all up anyway when this is dry. Put it all together. The only thing that we're not going to be able to do, I have still got them, is where you put in like, is it your netting or something?
Like the Estates have like a divider.
Yeah, so you put your dog in or something like that, you can divide it off. They obviously don't come in the R32 and they're going to be like a creamy colour, so
we just paint them.
Yeah, we might be able to just paint them. We're not going to be used, so as long as they're the right colour, I think it'll look okay.
You shouldn't scratch, because that's the thing, if you paint plastic and then you go and shove it, it's going to scratch, isn't it? Yeah. Where this stuff is fully black plastic, isn't it?
It might not all be in the most usable conditions, so we're going to do what we can for now and then we'll see in the future.
Yeah.
Just off camera, me and Stokes were having a little play around whether we was going to put the R32 foaming. In the R32, this was something
Don't
like...
put it in.
Yeah.
'Cause
But they were like that, and it obviously raised the boot floor up so you could have this space saver inside of it. But we realised, well, we kind of thought we could use this anyway, but the Estate comes with like a frame that raises the boot floor up like, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches,
Yeah.
which is enough to miss the space saver from the R32.
so that'll still work.
Yeah.
We've got to use that because of the size of the brakes on the front. The normal full-size space saver doesn't work,
Yeah,
does it? Yeah.
but then that means that then we can put the original boot floor back
Yeah.
in, and it'll look basically like the Estate did when we first took it apart, and I think that's going to be better for the long run, isn't it?
And then we've just seam sealed up on the bits we've cut, and we're just going to get up some stone chip. Once that's dry, stone chip that all in.
Yeah, just make it look a bit more presentable.
I mean, look, that looks, I've just blacked that off, that panel, what I've riveted and bonded
Yeah.
in, and it's absolutely sound now. And we've chucked the back bumper on, haven't we?
Yeah, so what we want to do with the back bumper, even though we're not going to keep this back bumper as it is anyway, you can basically separate this lower half. I don't know if you can see very well.
Yeah.
But just for the time being, what we think we're going to do is cut some holes where the exhaust line up.
You can see where the toe bar's been cut out, you can
Yeah.
just see the tips there.
So we're going to take it up in the air in a second anyway, and we'll take a look at that. Like I say, this will come off eventually.
It's going to give us, this bumper's going to give us a good judge of where we've got to bring these tailpipes out to, isn't it?
And then the other things we've got, obviously, we're going to take a quick look at the brakes and suspension, and
Yeah.
then hopefully try and paint.
Because
up
we've
the
got a
calipers while we
problem.
can.
The reason we're changing the brakes, because obviously they're knackered, and the rear brakes are sticking
Yeah, they're
on.
stuck on. So you
So-
can't.
You can't push
move
it.
the
It will
thing.
drive, but yeah, it's stuck on. So there's something obviously going on with
Yeah.
the rear calipers. So we need to kind of strip them down and have a look, see what's
Yeah.
going
So
on.
while that dries, we're going to get it up in the air and start meshing with the suspension and brakes. And then,
Yeah.
So we've bled all the brakes off now, because what we're going to do for the calipers, we're going to take them off the car.
Which is rough anyway, so we've got to take it off the car or else all this will be blue. But we've got new ones of these, haven't we, mate?
Nice new brakes, new pad. I'm not going to say new suspension, but
Some
better
better
suspension.
suspension.
Got all the caliper off, all the disc. It seems like as if the handbrake's been left on and the calipers have been stuck in that position. They did come off in the end, I had to pry it off. As you can see, broken spring, got this nice new E-back which you've seen, and shock absorber is underneath jack, and it's in better days, isn't it? I mean, these are in a lot better nick, and all the rubbers and all that. So yeah, pretty straightforward on the rear.
How much lower are these?
I'm not too sure, because obviously different cars, obviously for certain cars, 'cause obviously the
weight.
the weight of the engine. But yeah,
Did you say
depending,
30 mil?
it depends on the model, because obviously a Golf R32 is lowered from standard.
Yes.
So depending on what model you're putting it on,
There's the difference.
is the
between
difference.
height.
Like if you've got bog standard one, they're quite high, sit quite high.
Yeah.
So you put some springs on that, it might lower it like say 50, 60 mil.
What if you put an extra 30 centimetres of car
Well,
on
you've got an overhang of boot, so
it? Decks on the back.
yeah, decks on the back. But the brake calipers themselves look
They
quite.
don't look too bad, do
No,
they?
they look quite new. So we're going to clean them up and obviously paint them up. And these you have to wind, like I was saying about the handbrake. The handbrake's built into the caliper, and you have to wind that back. And I think that's what's kind of got stuck on.
Yeah.
So hopefully, when we wind this all back, get all the new discs and pads on.
Should be free.
Yeah, it should be free, because the handbrake wasn't on at all, but it was obviously dragging.
So what we was going to do originally was basically paint the front and the back of the caliper all together, but then we thought, well, it's nice, obviously when it's cleaned up, it's nice aluminium anyway, so we might as well just leave it as it is. I think it might look easier, nicer. Plus then that means we don't have to overspray onto any of the rubber seals or anything like that. We've basically just got those bits, and we can just do a nice all over job. Obviously I've bought every chemical known to man to try and clean them down.
This is what you normally find on
Yeah.
your kit. Red Bull.
So we used this before on the...
Try Red Bull on it.
And well, that's got acid in it, so I thought that
Yeah.
might work. We used that on the block, didn't we, for
The Cosy.
The Cosy. Did it work okay?
I think
it did.
Yeah.
But I sort of read that it's not really supposed to be used on aluminium, so I was like, I'm not going to risk that. So I just gone and bought some brake cleaner, some wire wheels, and some hot water.
Let me guess,
that
you
was free.
bought brake cleaner because you're cleaning.
Brakes, yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's meant for. But all I've done on this one, I just had a little play around just to see what worked the best.
Because you blocked all the little holes.
Yeah, so these are just 2 bleed nipples off 2 different calipers that I've just put in just so nothing goes inside there. I mean, I don't know if the hot water's going to...
I think it just may help lift.
Yeah, obviously, I know you don't see any of this bit, but I'm going to just try and lift off as much of the...
Crud.
Yeah, we're getting steamed up while we're there. Yeah. As much of the crap as possible. Then Jack. All I'm going to do then is wipe down, well, get all the surface crap off the caliper.
Crud?
All the crud off the surface of the caliper. These ones are a bit worse when it's rusty, so I'll probably have to wire wheel them down.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to key the fronts, same on the backs, and then give them a
Yeah, I mean, the calipers themselves,
they're
on
not
the
bad,
rear,
are
they
they?
don't look too bad.
You could probably clean them up and they wouldn't really look too bad, but we might as well give them a fresh coat of paint while we've got everything off, yeah. I know that's not perfect at the minute, but
It's better than that.
yeah, that's how it's basically started. So they'll look decent when they're done.
Yeah, looks fine.
But what do I say, you can't polish a turd?
But you can roll it in glitter. Yeah. What are you selling?
Have to load. I got all sorts.
This is Jack's shop
I
of
got bolts.
calipers.
I've done the best I can with what I can. Let's just put it that way. Scrubbed up the aluminium as best as I can. Tried to get most of the brake stuff off, but I do know that realistically the best way to do it, aqua blast or soda blast, new seals obviously, but we're not going that far on it. Maybe sometime in the future we'll go that far. I've wired wheeled down all the flaky paint, all the rust I can get. Like I say, it's not 100% perfect, but it's the best we're going to do with what we've got. And then on the rear calipers, all I've done, because they're aluminium, I've just given them a key. Obviously they're not rusting, there's a bit of fur in us. But I'm going to tape all that up, all the spring and the bleed nipples and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, just to butt in, what have you spent so far on just paint-wise to make, if these come out nice?
I think the paint was like a tenner.
There you
go.
go.
The only thing I'm hoping, because the tin I bought is quite little. I know it should be fine. It was.
We've got to put thinners in it, should stretch out.
Yeah, so all I want to do is get a good couple of coats on it, and I think it'll be fine. I mean,
Jack, for 10 quid, if we can pull this off for 10 quid, a bit of elbow grease and literally a bit of elbow grease and a bit of a strip down, and I mean,
it's just a bit of time, isn't it? That's all it is. Like we're speaking to Dave because we've had the wheels dropped off to get refurb because obviously they were a bit tatty, the ones that we had on it. But the guy there said he does calipers for £40 each. Now I don't know how far they go on them, whether they just mask them on the car and spray them.
I can't see them.
They're not going to be stripping them down, are they?
Not for 40 quid.
So you're talking 160 quid?
Just for basics, we had the calipers all done on the Sleeker and on the Cosy at Big Red, and you're coming in at 400 quid.
Yeah, they are good. Obviously, they're completely refurbed, aren't they? New seals, everything. But that's not what we're doing with this.
No, we're trying to keep this a kind of a, I don't know, not a budget, but you know, can we do it ourselves?
Yeah, and I think there's some things obviously we might do in the future, maybe, but at the moment it's just getting it looking a bit nicer, and we can do this kind of stuff. That's not a problem.
I think we can.
I think we've been conned by the caliper paint, man.
Yeah, it looked like a big tin, but it had like
half a tin in it.
Like a dribble in it.
But we thinned it out, but it's not going to do enough of it.
No. So we're thinking using jazz blue paint, but then it's not caliper paint. But
the other thing,
what makes caliper paint?
I presume it's temperature, isn't it?
Yeah. Is that what makes it so thin then? So try to do it for a tenner that we got.
It's going to cost 20 instead.
Yeah, it's going to cost.
So we've got the calipers all built up now, looking pretty good. Not going to win any awards, but it spruces it up a bit. So I'm going to get them back on the car and fitted now. And I have just heard from Dave, but we dropped the BBS reps off for refurb. they're ready to pick up. So hopefully we'll have brakes, suspension, wheels, all fitted, all set up, rolling, looking good.
Right then, a very, very, very unfamiliar scene. All three of us are together.
We do this channel individually now.
Yeah, it's individual channels. We're going to put up hashtag Jack and Jill, Mad Dave, boring.
Oh yeah, I know it'd be something like boring. Or...
Right, tell us where we went wrong then, Stoke.
Because we were struggling to get hold of the right size and all that R32, just two of them, weren't we? And then the ones that we found were miles and miles and miles away. And obviously, you two go to work and don't leave Litchfield now, so that you're not allowed to do that, are you?
So, long story short, I found a cheap set of wheels, local, what would fit the car, and I think they look all right.
Yeah,
right,
good.
does he use the word cheap loosely there? Because I'm sorry, mate, but £350 for a set of wheels that needed refurb, had a crack, had a buckle, and the tyres are nailed. Is that cheap, Jack? Or is £100 cheap?
Yeah, but you're not going to get wheels for £100.
Of course you can.
Let's cut this
How much
long
do you want to
story
bet?
short.
Do you want to bet anything else this year?
Let's cut this long story short. So Dave set about himself and go, I'm going to get these wheels refurbed. Right, so we...
Whoa. It was a joint decision to have these refurbed, wasn't it, lads? For reselling purpose. Yes or no? Did we not all discuss this?
Yeah, we did.
So then nobody did anything about it. So I come up here, got the wheels, and I thought, well, I'm going to pass that wheel place. I'm going to drop them off.
Yeah. And then they went, the wheels are buckled.
No, we had one buckle.
Right, so that was how much a buckle, and then the wheel was cracked. So all in all, and the tyres on and off, £190, right? We spent £350 buying the wheels, £190. What we at, Dave?
£450, £540.
Right. You can buy these wheels, because they're not real, reps, brand spanking new, for £600. Without tyres, and I know you're going to say without tyres, but these tyres are knackered.
Yeah, I understand.
We'll get some use out of them.
No, these tyres are fine.
I don't know if
and you'll get use out of them. To get a decent pair of tyre, you can go to any local part-worn dealer and get a set of part-worn tyres that are nailed like this for 25 quid a tyre.
Well, have you ever heard of Nefera?
Never heard of
Sweet? They're good tyres.
They're French, they are, aren't they? Anthracite. They look wicked, mate. I ain't gonna lie. These are gonna look.
I like anthracite, but I personally, my personal opinion, I thought they would look nice in silver, nice and clean in silver. But
you also brought high miles cat in M4 that now you turned into an M3, so your opinion don't really, you know.
But they will look good.
That's what you think, anthracite silver.
Wheels and brakes, all sorted, brand spanking new. We've gone a bit kind of over the top with it, but it needed doing anyway.
Looks good.
I like it.
It does, and like all we need to we're going to get onto these other bits in the future. Obviously, that we're going to dechrome it, aren't we? I think that'd look nice, either gloss or satin black. Sort these bits out, and then obviously like R32 front bumper, and then we've obviously got to do something with this back bumper because obviously we need the exhaust tips coming through.
Obviously.
The boot. We're literally, I've ordered this sound deadening. It's like a bitumen.
Yeah, it matches the existing stuff, doesn't it?
OEM.
And then we're going to get that all round there, get that all stuck down, and then all the boot trim and everything can all go back in that. Headlining.
Yeah, I was just about to say, now that everything's dried, it's come out really like blotchy.
It looks almost like it's got mould on it.
Yes.
But it is damp in that unit, isn't it? I mean,
but Jack paid £20 for the dye. He's used that. So we could almost buy another set of dye to try it, or get it re-trimmed for 100 quid.
It's worth a punt of giving it another 20 quid.
It might not have even been 20 quid.
Anyway.
You take your foot off the brake, it's starting
No,
to...
I can't, mate, because some bloke put a brake switch and it don't touch.
This channel's all about learning.
It's all about
trying to
hindsight,
do
this
as
channel is, isn't it? Because we always know the right thing to do after we do it wrong.
So the calipers cost us
40 quid a caliper.
38 quid, I think.
That's good, dog. That's sound, that.
And they've come out.
They have come out really good. I do like them.
So,
Oh,
anyway,
mate, I'm loving this, I am. I'm loving these wheels. We've asked it already, and we have had every V-dub breaker in the country message us. But anybody who wants to help us and not take our hard-earned money that we don't have any of no more because of all the projects that we keep buying and stuff. We need a front bumper, we need lights, we need side skirts, and we need the rear bottom of the bumper, don't we, to try and make one?
Yeah, this is still a mystery to us. We're
Need a steering wheel.
Need a steering wheel, yeah.
we basically need a complete car.
And can we get some wing backs for less than
20 quid?
So yeah, so
Help us out.
yeah, just help us out, please. No, she's starting to come together. It's going to be exciting when the lights and the front bumper go on.
yeah.
That's going to be the main bit.
It's going to change the look of the car.
It is. Jack has 4 interiors now. If anybody needs any parts for an interior, he's breaking one interior, he's splitting another interior, and he's taking one interior home.
Living room.
Just to set up in his den.
And there's just like a fabric interior that is going to be up
Yeah.
as well, if you
20
want
quid,
that.
20 quid. I'll sign it.
Another thing what we've been having a nightmare with, radiator obviously on the old R32 smashed to pieces and we went and weighed it in, but it had these little adapter pieces on the end of the...
They're called flanges. It's
Yes.
a funny word, isn't
So
it?
Jack found one flange and he keeps buying this other flange, which is his top flange,
There's no
and
other
it's
flange.
too small, his flange is too small. So now from TPS...
How many flanges do you need? Because I can find 2 all the time.
Oh, you do,
A pair of flanges.
Mr. Flange.
We've ordered one from TPS, hopefully
Yeah.
that's right.
And then we can
You can actually get some water in the thing.
3 litres a day, I'm doing that.
That's his flange technique.
You have to wear a nappy flange. This is that much. What?
Right, I've got a little bottle over there.
Can you stop pissing in a bottle? Just go to the toilet.
I can't make it sometimes. I'm doing it every half an hour.
That is the golf episode. We tried to get as much as we possibly could into there, and we've passed on some and failed. Not failed, but
Well, we have just bled the brakes, but they need to re-bled, don't they?
We're doing an ABS bleed next time, though.
Yeah, on the-
Yes, we're going to use the computer, aren't we?
yeah. But no, I'm happy with the brakes. I'm happy with the wheels. I'm happy how it's looking at the minute, and we've got to do a few more bits.
Hopefully on the next one, we've got a front end with lights, we've got the interior in, we found some side skirts, and we have a bash at the rear bumper.
And then off to Donington.
You pair won't do Donington.
I got the brakes for it now. What do you say, Dave?
Like, comment, follow and subscribe.
And hit the bell icon.
Yeah,
See you next time.
see you later, lads and girls. I'm not sexist round here.